Hey everybody, so I'm back. Oh Lord, for another episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, Holt-ing Court, Season 6, Episode 13. All right, so we started off where we left off with Kimmy and Maurice last week. I'm trying, y'all. I really am trying. I'm trying my best. So Maurice said Kimmy is not over the fact that Kiowa has not apologized. Maurice, before I even get into that, you have completely missed the fucking point. See, I don't know if people think that the viewers are stupid, if you think Kimmy is stupid, if you are that much of a gaslighter and a person who lacks self reflection, but whatever it is fucking bothersome, and I don't fucking like it. All right? The point of this whole goddamn meeting is to find out what they need to do to make Monster better, and you've managed to make it about Kimmy have harboring some feelings about Kiowa. That was some bitch ass shit, and I didn't like it. So Kimmy forgot even what the fuck Maurice was talking about as far as an apology from seasons ago. Maurice is a liar and a gaslighter, and he's somebody like for real, for real. I know people throw that term around. No, like for real, for real. And maybe Kiowa is the only one who could deal with his sorry ass because both of them are gaslighters, people who act like they don't know what you're talking about, people who do shitty stuff to others. They were two peas in a pod. I guess so she probably screwed somebody else, which I imagine is the only thing unforgivable because, men will stay in a marriage and still do what they want to do. Anyway, Maurice, you know how Kimmy feels. Hell, we as the viewers 6 seasons into this same shit know how Kimmy feels. All right, Maurice, it is your job to deal with Kiowa, your ex-wife, not Kimmy's. Kimmy should not be placed in a situation over and over again. I'm not saying that she can't communicate, but over and over again where she's the constant target, that's some bullshit. And I wouldn't want that kind of man. So Kimmy called you on the fact that even Maurice, you won't even do business with people. You feel like have done you wrong because when they've done you wrong, you felt like that showed a lack of integrity. She was like, and Kiowa lying on me demonstrates a lack of integrity. And he was like, well, that's the worst compare. And she was not letting up on that. And Maurice has allowed those lies to live on. One, when he could have definitely shut that stuff down. Reunion after reunion, conversation after conversation. Okay? Kiowa has lied on her and Maurice has allowed it so Monster can be in Alabama for Kimmy to raise. Now, child, I'm trying. Maurice then goes on to text Kiowa using Kimmy's words against her and says, well, if you're not going to fight me, you can meet up with her, this, that, and the other. Maurice is a terrible husband. This is the conclusion I've come to. See, people are very quick to blame Marceau, and we all have reason, and rightfully so. But my thing with Marceau, Etta Martell, Etta Maurice, Marceau, Lewis, you name it. Marceau is a what you see is a what you get. Marceau is the one we can't never. Everybody got all these rumors. Ain't nobody ever had no evidence on him. And Maurice, the way he set up and lied about that linebacker last time, and Marceau was like, no, you was there. Like, regardless of whether we like the fact that Tisha puts up with that bullshit or not, what you see is what you get. Maurice, you want some. He's a bad husband. And he made the issue that was about Monster about Kimmy holding on to stuff about Kiowa. So is this really about your son? And that tells me you lack the skills to be a good parent. Waking your son up before, can't see in the morning just to prove a point is about your need for control. That's not about for his betterment. And that's why your son looks straight up sad. Like in the face, like just sad. Anyway, Kimmy, he's a bad man. You are still dealing with radiation. Your health and well-being should be his priority. All right? And it's not. And I know as a mother who's in the phases of radiation, from her breast cancer surgery and things like that, stress is one of the largest contributors to breast cancer for women. So, and you being a nurse, him going to these doctor's visits with you, he knows that. And it's times like these, I think, when you realize who you are with, just like you realize who your friends are and who they aren't, Kimmy, leave him or leave us out of it. Cause I'm gonna be honest, this ain't what it is. Especially for a woman your age, you shouldn't have to put up with this, and so therefore you should not, cause you're self sufficient. So Tisha, Macy, and Mila, her daughters. So the girls are having a photo shoot for their brand of hair products or whatever. That's cute. And one of the girls, them were Marcel's kids, okay? One of them girls got his whole face. But she's pretty. I had to make sure I said that. So anyway, I think it's good for her to set up a business for her daughters. I thought that was cute. And then Tisha was like, well, I mean, they can make money and have fun. I can introduce them to entrepreneurship. And when she said that, I was kind of like, the way she said make money, I was like, well, they just gonna buy dolls and stuff. Like, girl, I was waiting for her to say, yeah, they can make money that we're gonna put in their 529 and a trust for later. So when they're ready to buy a house, they can actually buy one and then won't have to move and then won't have to say Grand Scott Manor, because Scott Manor, we are just, it seems like it's gonna take another generation. So like things like that. But then again, if you had that level of foresight, Tisha, I don't think that y'all would be moving in an apartment and from a house, a rented house, only to move in 6 months to claim the Scott Manor. Anyway, child, Kiki comes to the photo shoot. Okay, so Tisha is getting apparently a key to the city of Mobile, Alabama, which is nice. It's an honor. You know, I mean, I'm not saying that it's not like they hard. Never mind. So I mean, who doesn't want a key to the city of Mobile? I'm sorry. Okay, so Kiki was mad that she heard about it from somebody else. First of all, in y'all's family, the way y'all run y'all's mouth, Kiki, I don't even think that is something you should take personally, but I guess you gotta do what you gotta do for your 10 seconds of camera time. And she said she was mad she wasn't invited, and she thought the photo shoot apparently was a good place to bring this issue up. I want y'all just put y'all's family business out here over nothing, and this ain't even worth it. This ain't even worth the ratings. All right, I think Kiki was more concerned, honestly, about not getting additional camera time, and so therefore wanted to invite herself to Mobile. All right, put that on the back burner. We get Kimmy and Mel at the wellness spa. Now this was a weird. It wasn't weird in terms of their conversation, but the idea. So Mel said she wanted to take Kimmy out for a massage. Now that she's kind of transitioned, she said she wanted to do something for her. And I think Mel, at least what we see on TV, has really tried to build more of a friendship with Kimmy, because that first season was rough. And I think now that she's out of that, officially divorced from Martell, and her and Kimmy have taken more time to really kind of be careful with each other's feelings and boundaries, and that Kimmy is still willing to deal with people after they draw certain boundaries. I think that they can build a friendship. And I think Mel wanted to do something nice for her, which is nice. However, Mel, your massage was supposed to be the equivalent to 20,000 to 30,000 crunches. Let me tell you something. You would have told me that before, and I know you didn't tell Kimmy because Kimmy was all kinds of shocked. And Kimmy, being a nurse, of course, knew the right questions to ask and goes, well, tomorrow I'm going to be sore because I don't work out like that. And Mel was like, you're going to be happy. Now, mind you, Mel did not volunteer herself to go first. Mel didn't say, I've done this before. Mel clearly looked this up on the internet and decided it was a good idea. Mel, everybody on this cast tries it. Okay, so Kimmy is finishing up treatment. She says she's feeling better. Mel was like, well, I'm sure Maurice, Monster, and Jalen are helping out. First of all, something told me when Mel said that, Mel knew she did not believe the words coming out of her mouth, and she basically wanted to hear how Maurice was fucking up. And so Kimmy was like, well, no. Well, Monster, he's 16. Monster's not the issue. She didn't say nothing about Jalen. I know Jalen's probably doing what he's supposed to do to take care of his mother. Maurice, your bald-headed, lemon drop looking ass, I'm telling you, I don't fucking like you. And you are coming off like a real piece of shit. And I don't feel like I've had to describe you like that or felt the need to describe you like that. But I really don't like you. I fucking don't. And I don't like that Kimmy's putting up with you. I would kick Mel's ass, though, when she was over there laughing, when she put Kimmy up to it first, because Kimmy was still feeling the pressure and shit. But anyway, so they start talking. So Kimmy told her about the sit-down Maurice playing with Kiowa. And she was like, our meetings about Monster and stuff are productive. And so Mel asked, well, how are you and Kiowa? And Mel asked her straight out, and this is what I appreciate. Right, even though we've gone through this on multiple occasions. Mel asked her straight out, look, do you feel like you interfered with their marriage? And she said, honestly, because I've either heard it from other people or it's been implied, but I've never had that conversation with you directly. So just let me ask you right now. Now, I feel like everybody has implied that, and Maurice knows that, and Maurice should have done more to defend her. Anyway, Kimmy said when she met Maurice, he had already filed for divorce. They were both filing for divorce. It was a matter of paperwork. But she said they did not start dating until they were fully divorced. So they had like a friendship or whatever. And I'm sure she was attracted to him, but whatever. She did not enter a relationship until after their divorce was finalized. She said, basically, where the conjecture comes is when Kiowa basically, once their divorce had been, the papers had been filed, she wanted a reconciliation. And she saw the fact that Kimmy and him had developed a friendship prior to it being an official divorce. Maurice was not interested in a reconciliation. Hell, he had moved from Michigan to Alabama. Like it, she was like, "This is just this firecrackers." She did not ruin their marriage. She didn't ruin their marriage. That's the short of the long story. Kimmy's, honestly, Mel, I thank you for asking again on camera so we could hear it again, because Maurice is not taking up for her, and it's easy just to get caught up in the conjecture. Anyway, so Mel tells her about the custody battle, and Kimmy honestly was saying that it's a mind fuck to deal with the other person. She was like, because it's their father. It's not like a stranger, and then you're trying to do the best thing. You have to be an adult, so on and so forth. And I get that. And Kimmy may be the only one on this cast even qualified to listen to what Mel has to say, which is probably why she was willing to have the conversation with her and not Tisha, because at least Kimmy has been through something of these sorts. You know what I mean? Like in terms of actually dealing with the other person and the actual custody. None of them can relate, and then they're judgmental. So Tisha's getting her hair braided. Any black woman that's had her hair braided knows it's going to take a few hours. And she decides it's a good idea to invite Kiki to the hair braiding shop where she's getting her hair braided. Okay, first, Kiki didn't show up to Mobile. Who didn't see that one coming? Anyway, now trust me, I know sitting and getting your hair braided can be long and monotonous, but girl, next time bring your phone and your earpods. Okay, your AirPods. I would not be sitting in the braiding shop, Kiki, and show up to get scorned and talk about my drug problem in front of a hairstylist whose business it is none of, and in front of the camera. Why are you so desperate for camera time? Girl, stop tripping. So Tisha, you're not good at lying either. Tisha said at the beginning of the episode that she forgot to invite Kiki, and don't take it personal. It wasn't that. She's busy. And Kiki said, no, it wasn't. I just wanted to know about it, whatever. And then in the confessional, when she was talking about getting the key to the city, she said that's why she actually stopped inviting Kiki to different things, because Kiki doesn't come. So you did it on purpose. Bitch, cut it out. Speaking of Kiki not being there, did y'all see Marcel or the kids or Wanda at the event on camera? I didn't. I imagine they were there, but I'm just making a point. Anyway, I'm just saying, maybe I missed it. So Kiki couldn't get transportation. She couldn't rent a car or whatever. Honestly, that sounded like bullshit too, but this whole scene was bullshit, so whatever. So Tisha, if you were going to lower your expectations and cut somebody out of your life when they disappoint you over and over again, bitch, then do it. Okay? Don't invite your cousin to the braid shop and do that in front of your hairstylist. Like, what the fuck? Like, Tisha, you come off as a very immature person who needs attention. And it makes me feel less compassion for you in regards to lots of things. Because I think you're super passive aggressive. And then it kind of comes off like, I kind of felt sorry for you at first, but it's really starting to aggravate me because you slip up and then you show that you're being dishonest. And I don't like that. Nevertheless, Kiki apologized to Tisha's sensitive ass. I'm over her. I'm over their relationship. Please stop giving us these things. Thank you. All right. Ding, 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 ding. Custody battle recap between Mel and Martell, round 56. Yes, okay, what we've all been waiting for. So Mel goes to Nell and Chris Fletcher's house to debrief. All right, and we getting the side by side. All right, and Martell is debriefing with his cigarette face mama. I don't know her name, but whatever. All right, so Mel said the last time she saw them, she's talking about Chris and Nell, was in court. Martell subpoenaed them to their court date. And Mel was like, oh, did y'all know y'all were being subpoenaed? Mel is... Mel be asking questions knowing damn well she know the answer to it. All right. And he subpoenaed them and tell them, you subpoenaed, you got to go. So Mel reached out to them. She basically, I think, to try to make sure she reconciled the friendship and basically just didn't want them to think she had been a part of it. And I'm sure on the paper it didn't say, her name, but still. So Mel said his witnesses didn't even lie for him. And meanwhile, we have Martell debriefing with his cigarette face mama. Martell, I really think he keeps going to court because it's a way of him seeing Mel and being able to control Mel. I think it's an outgrowth of that. So the mama says, well, look, I hate to be in a courtroom. It's about y'all's kids. What does the court have to do with that? I was thinking to myself, you need to ask your son that. But don't be acting like they just in there for no reason. So Martell was mad. Talk about something, it hurt me to my core. Well, Ninja, the way you act, I don't care how you get hurt to your core. You deserve it. All right, he said that his mother was only on the stand for like 4 minutes. And he was like, well, she was like, yeah, I answered the question I was asked. He said, yeah, but you didn't give them anything. She was like, why would I give them anything? I'm not used to this. He was like, you're supposed to show up and show out for me. Martell, you were asking your mother to commit perjury. To make shit up and make Mel look bad. And Cigarette Face was not having it. She wasn't having it. She wasn't having it. She was like, I'm not here to do all that. And the bottom fucking line is, Martell, you a motherfucking liar. We've been watching this show and we see Instagram posts or this, that, and the other. Both of y'all are decent parents. Okay? And taking her to court, particularly in a state like Alabama, and I can say this because I'm from the deep south, I'm from Georgia, I know the way these things operate, they are rigged against women. And it becomes very easy. The whole country is kind of set up that way. Very few things are put in law to really protect women from a lot of these things that go unnamed. All right? Or, whatever the case is. So Mel was like, oh, well, I felt like, Chris, you were truthful about everything. She was like, Chris wasn't going to jail for nobody. He said, I ain't lying. And then we get Martell switching back to us how he was disappointed with Chris. Chris should have said more. Martell, the expectation that you can lie and people are supposed to continue the lie for you is troubling. And when I say troubling, because I think you have mind fucked yourself into believing these things. Like you actually feel like Chris Fletcher should have stood on the stand, committed perjury, and put himself in a situation where he would go to jail for your sorry ass. Knowing that he knew both of y'all. And knows that both of y'all are good parents. You expected your mother to do the same thing. The fuck out of here. So apparently, Martell has been moving place to place. He cannot keep a steady home. And Mel was like, I guess that's why he wanted me to pay his attorney fee. Yes, Mel. Yes. Mel said apparently he is having cash flow issues. Mel, he's having... And Nell was like, is he broke? She was like, I don't know. I don't keep up with his finances no more. She was like, we were together. He enjoyed a dual income. And I guess now that he doesn't have that, clearly... And let me tell you something. I was one of them people that thought... I didn't like that Martell was always bringing up receipts. Well, I took you out the classroom because that's offensive to me. I took you out the classroom as a school teacher and I put you on this, that, and the other. We really saw the truth kind of come out after they divorced. And I will never forget when he brought them products into Destiny and was like, these are products I want to sell. And she was like, where's the paperwork? Where's the contract? He was like, I'm going to get it. She was like, I'm not selling nothing. You give me the paperwork. And she was like, it really seems like Mel was the brains of it. Hell, and she was their friend. And she, was just realizing that after the divorce. So anyway, Mel said, The reason why they are having a custody battle at all is because she took him to court for a protection order. Because he was harassing her. He was pulling the Kanye shit and popping up. All right. And his attorney filed a custody case so he wouldn't have to go to court that day, because apparently if you file for another lawsuit, you don't have to go to court that day. This is what I'm talking about. Them wild ass Alabama laws, them same wild ass Georgia laws, them same wild ass Florida laws. Them people stay on fuck shit. They've been on fuck shit since them colonies were here, and they drug us over here. Anyway, so that's some bullshit, Martell. Let's begin there. And we know it's true because you lie about everything. We have to believe what Mel's saying is true because you lie. So all we're left with is her story, and her stories make sense. So Martell and his mother are laughing about how Mel was saying, well, she keeps the kids for 6 months, and then you keep the kids for 6 months. Well, if y'all laughing like, oh, that's so stupid, I don't think Mel wanted that. But my thing is, if y'all worked out a dual custody thing, this wouldn't be an issue. If y'all kept the same thing in place, this wouldn't be an issue. Martell, I don't like that. And I don't like that women are put in these predicaments where somebody can actually call you a bad mother, because that is a way to discredit women. And the stereotypes that have come about when it comes to black women, particularly divorced black women, single black women who are mothers, are dangerous, and they are alive and well. And too many black women are placed in that predicament. And it follows you into the courtroom, just like it follows you into the doctor's office, just like it follows you into all these other aspects of your life. And I mean, we are really playing with a situation that is very serious, where Mel could have her kids taken away from her. And we know she doesn't deserve that. Okay, and as far as I'm concerned, how would this be an issue anyway? Even if, let's just say something wild happened, like 6 months here and 6 months there. Hell, in Huntsville, the kids were going to run into their mother or father at a Walmart or McDonald's anyway. So I feel bad that Mel has to fight for her kids. He's the one saying that she's not feeding them. She's not taking care of them. But you need her to pay your attorney fee? Okay. You low down, dirty motherfucker, you. That shit pissed me off. So you want them kids like a bitch, Martell. You want Mel to keep working hard and paying for your lifestyle while your bum, retarded ass, side chick ass bitch, you and her, are living off the money that Mel gives that she siphons over, because that hoe too dumb to take you to court. Okay? Truth be told, you should be too busy working to take care of all 5 of your children than running to court over this trash, siphoning off more money. Okay? Because we know your baby mama, it don't look like she capable of making a living. Chris is in the kitchen even talking about how he warned Martell. But Martell don't want to hear anything. He's like, I told Martell a few times, like, look, we both know what it is. We don't have to relive in the past about the baby or the other lady. He was like, just drop it. Drop it. Like, stop fighting Mel in court. So they asked who won. And Mel said, well, really nobody. She said pretty much everything stayed the same. She said the judge basically said, well, it's obvious the father has the best interest of the children at heart, but we can't say the same about the mother. And I'm surprised Mel could say that without crying, because that would have broke my heart. And the judge sounds like a bitch who hates other women. Mel said the judge, when she said that, she was basically implying that when Mel changed her number back in October or November of last year and didn't give it to Martell, technically she wasn't taking good care of the kids because he couldn't get in touch with her. But then she was like, well, Madison County laws basically say that I don't have to keep in touch with him if one parent isn't harassing the other. She was like, he was basically popping up and recording her on dates, harassing her, showing her where she did, all of which he admitted in court. And so Nell goes, well, what did the judge say? She was like, nothing. Absolutely nothing. And that bitch, I can tell you right now, she probably watches that show, is jealous of Mel, and this was her way of trying to humble her. And don't say, oh, well, she's a judge. Why would she be jealous? Why is anybody jealous of anybody? Why does anybody do anything to hurt other people? Whatever's going on in their head, we can't explain. I just know people do that. And I could damn sure see some shit like that happen in Atlanta. So I know it could damn sure happen in Huntsville. I'm telling you, courts are often rigged against women, and it's harder for black women. And that bitch sounds like she was trying to quote unquote humble her. Okay? And if I was you, I would appeal, and I would also appeal for a new judge, Mel. Anyway, so Kimmy and Kaya will meet. Kimmy, Kimmy, I would have never agreed to have a sit down with Kyle without Maurice. Because Maurice continuously puts you in these situations, and the fact that he was willing to do that says he ain't shit. You're going through radiation, and this bitch don't even like you, and she don't like you for a reason she made up in her head. So Kimmy said she thinks Kiowa coming down more often would be better for Monster, but in the confessional she was like, not for me, but better for Monster, which is fine. So Kimmy told Kiowa that Maurice wanted them to meet up. I would have never agreed to that shit, but okay. Um, Kimmy said she was telling Kiowa basically what she thought, and Kimmy was very clear. And that's the one thing I do respect about Kimmy, even though I think she's made a bad choice with Maurice, is that Kimmy communicates very clearly. And she doesn't come with malice and that kind of petty jealousy I see with a lot of other women. And Kimmy said, look, I know we haven't had the best relationship. She said, honestly, I thought it would take time for you, Kiowa, to get to a space where we could relate. Because she said, I know how raw the emotions are, what it's like to be a single parent. And I fought with Maurice, and we saw that. We saw that on those scenes where she was like trying to take up and help him understand why Kiowa felt the way she felt. And Kimmy said, so I was bothered by your comments about that implied basically that I caused the demise of your marriage. And Kiowa said the same shit. She said that year at the reunion. What did I say? Like, what are you talking about? Bitch, you know what you said. You know what you implied. What your intentions were when you said it. Okay? And it was to hurt Kimmy and mess up her and Maurice's relationship with your ugly ass. Okay? You look like a fucking Mexican bull. I don't even know where I got that from, but that's what the fuck you look like. Alright? She's that type of ugly bitch that's gonna be mad forever because she look like that. All the makeup in the world and that bitch is still ugly. Okay? So Kiowa said that, well, what do you want me to say? I don't do interviews. I have no control of the comments on the internet. Kimmy was like, well, I thought you should have said no, she wasn't a side chick. And then Holt starts playing semantics. I never called you a side chick. Bitch, whether you called her a side chick, a hoe, a home wrecker, it doesn't matter. It all implies the same fucking thing. And you know you did. And you know, even if you didn't, when people around you were calling her that, you was up there agreeing. And Maurice ain't no better, because as her husband, hell, as her boyfriend, he should have never allowed that narrative to be a thing. Okay, because they were getting married, like, I think the last part of the first season, remember? Anyway, so Kimmy said, well, I think you should try to shut it down because your comments implied that I was someone that I wasn't in causing the breakup of your marriage. And to me, that's a lack of integrity on your part. I said, go off, Kimmy. And then this bitch starts with the worst way you can ever do an apology. I'm sorry you feel that way, but there's nothing I can do about what other people say. No. You can't stop somebody from saying anything or typing anything. No, you can't do that. What you can do, however, is not help fuel the fire of the fucking lies, okay, that you helped initiate. Don't play. Because that's that kind of shit that would have me flipping that table over. All right? And the fact that you tap dancing even around Kimmy's question and what was said and what was not was said says that you like that people think that about Kimmy. And you want that to stay the same. And you and Maurice both are definitely two of a kind. Two sides of the same coin. And I can see how y'all were together because y'all both some fucked up people. But I will say the problem is y'all seem to think that this little bullshit y'all pull on camera doesn't come off to the viewers as the fuck shit that it is. And y'all both end up looking bad. And I hope the internet gives it to y'all both. Okay, so allow me to do my slice. So Kimmy, some advice. Divorce Maurice. I know you love him. I don't doubt that at all. I'm sure you love him. You wouldn't go through all of this unless you did. However, I think you would find your life a lot more enjoyable, yourself a lot happier and healthier if you walked away from all this bullshit. And this is no disrespect to the kid. Monster is not your son. Monster is not your responsibility to raise. Maurice and his bullshit, his possible indiscretions or not, all of that no longer becomes your problem if you leave him. And you don't have to look at this Mexican bull and sit down with her. Kimmy, you are beautiful. inside and out. None of us are perfect, but let me tell you something. You can do better. You can do better. All right, y'all have a good weekend. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.